Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. I want to take a moment and dive into one of the most powerful forces in our lives, time. How we manage time shapes the quality of our lives, our results, and ultimately our destiny. Time is the one resource we can't get back. And yet so many of us let it slip through our fingers as if we have an endless supply. But I'm here today to show you something profound, that you can take control of your time, you can master it, and in doing so, you will transform the quality of your life. I want you to think about this for a second. How many of us feel like there's just not enough time in the day? How many of us find ourselves constantly running behind, stressed out, overwhelmed by a to-do list that never seems to shrink? We all know what it feels like to be in that place. But the key question is, why? Why do we feel like there's never enough time, even though we have the same 24 hours in a day as everyone else? The answer is simple. It's not about how much time we have, it's about how we use it, and more importantly, it's about understanding the psychology of time. You see, time management isn't just about putting things on a calendar or making lists. It's about prioritizing what truly matters. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest values and goals. When you do that, time stops feeling like something you have to manage and becomes something you control. But here's the secret. Time management is not a skill that you're born with. It's a habit. It's a mindset. It's a series of daily practices that, when mastered, can unleash a level of productivity, clarity, and fulfillment that you never thought possible. Today, I want to share with you the art of effective time management, and I'm going to show you how it can radically change the trajectory of your life. Now, let's start with a simple concept. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. This is a universal truth. But what makes the difference between those who thrive and those who struggle is how they choose to use those 24 hours. And that begins with this powerful principle. You must master your focus if you want to master your time. So let me ask you, where is your focus right now? What are you giving your energy to? Is it on the things that move you closer to your goals? Or are you caught up in distractions that take you further from your purpose? Listen, there are endless distractions in this world. Social media, emails, meetings, unexpected phone calls, the list goes on. But what separates the high achievers from everyone else is their ability to decide where they put their focus. They take control of their attention. They don't let it wander. They direct it toward the things that will move them forward. But how do you do this? How do you master focus in a world full of distractions? It all begins with clarity. When you're clear on what you want, when you understand your vision, your purpose, and your goals, your focus becomes laser sharp. You're not wasting time on things that don't matter. You're not getting caught up in the noise. Every action you take, every choice you make is aligned with your most important outcomes. And here's the kicker. Time management isn't just about getting more done. It's about getting the right things done. It's not about checking off 100 items on a to-do list, only to realize at the end of the day that none of those things really moved you closer to your goals. It's about identifying the 20% of actions that will create 80% of your results. That's the secret to extraordinary productivity. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful tools for managing time, the power of planning. You see, most people fail to achieve their goals, not because they don't have the ability, but because they fail to plan effectively. They don't carve out time for their priorities. They don't set themselves up for success. Planning isn't just about writing things down. It's about creating a strategy for your day, your week, and your life. It's about designing your time instead of letting life design it for you. I want you to think about this. If you don't have a plan, you are planning to fail. Every successful person, whether in business, health, or relationships, has one thing in common. They plan. So what does effective planning look like? It starts with setting your top priorities. Ask yourself, what are the 3 most important things that will move you closer to your goals today? What can you do today that will create massive momentum? This is where you put your focus. This is what you schedule first. But here's the key. Don't just make a list. Create time blocks. Set aside specific times for specific tasks. Protect those blocks like they're your most precious commodity, because they are. When you take control of your schedule, you take control of your life. You stop reacting to the demands of others. You start living proactively with intention and purpose. Let me take it a step further. Learn to say no. I know it's hard. We all want to be liked. We all want to be helpful. But the reality is, every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. If you say yes to a meeting that doesn't align with your priorities, you're saying no to the time you could have spent on what matters most. If you say yes to distractions, you're saying no to your future success. Saying no is a skill, and you can start practicing it today. But it's not just about saying no to other people's demands. It's about saying no to your own distractions. You know the ones. The habits, the routines, the thoughts that pull you off course. They might feel comforting in the moment, but they're robbing you of your future. And finally, I want to talk about energy. Your energy is your most valuable asset when it comes to time management. If you don't have energy, you can't focus. If you don't have energy, you can't take action. If you don't have energy, nothing gets done.